Ms. Kantz, you're now recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Smith and Ranking Member Neal and members of the Ways and Means Committee. I'm very honored and thank you for the opportunity to submit testimony on the topic, in what ways can the federal government make the economy work for Oklahomans. My name is Shiloh Kantz, and I'm the Executive Director of Oklahoma Policy Institute, or OK Policy as we're informally known. We're a nonprofit, nonpartisan public policy think tank. While COVID-19 laid bare economic vulnerability in Oklahoma, these problems were not new. Oklahoma's poverty rate is consistently among the highest. Even pre-pandemic, 1 in 7 Oklahomans, including 1 in 5 children, lived in poverty. In 2018, 1 in 4 Oklahoma jobs were in occupations with a medium wage below the poverty line for a family of 4. Our poverty rates have barely budged over the last decade. Federal actions during the pandemic made a real difference. It's a shame those interventions were not made permanent. 460,000 Oklahoma households, including 816 children living in those households, received the expanded child tax credit. The credit lifted an additional 59,000 Oklahoma children out of poverty. That money was spent wisely on food, utilities, clothing, rent, and transportation, likely minimizing the trauma to our children. Now, 276,000 Oklahoma children are losing out on that full credit. The Child Independent Care Tax Credit expansion helped our working families secure child care to continue their employment. Qualifying Oklahoma families got back up to half of what they spent on child care that year. For some households, that's a game changer. Expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit meant there was a brief moment when Oklahoma's childless workers received targeted relief. The expansion tripled the EITC for childless adults and waived the usual age limits, and reached an estimated 229,000 childless workers in Oklahoma. It too lapsed at year end. So where do low-income Oklahomans need support? At work. I think the testimony we've heard here definitely addresses that as well. Some Oklahoma workers are covered by the Family Medical Leave Act, the federal family FMLA protections, but they can't afford to take unpaid leave. Only 1 in 20 of the bottom 10% of earners have paid leave. Just 1 in 5 workers have access to paid leave, and those are mostly high-income earners. The impact these numbers have on Oklahoma's families are real. I can't take off if my kid's sick if I don't have unpaid leave. More than half of Oklahomans, including 68% of rural Oklahomans, are in a child care desert. Either no providers within their zip code or there are too few slots. This number just really hits me hard because I've got 3 kids at home too. In recent years, the number of child care facilities has fallen by 2/3 from 6,000 to 2,300. Housing was an issue before the pandemic. Oklahoma's 2 largest metros were the nation's top 20 for eviction rates per capita. Emergency rental assistance during the pandemic helped, but it also lapsed. Today, more than 2 in 5 Oklahomans working full-time can't afford a 2-bedroom rental. An Oklahoma worker needs to earn $16.61 per hour to afford that 2-bedroom rental. But 17 of the most common 30 professions in Oklahoma, including teachers' assistants, home health aides, and customer service representatives, pay less than that. So what has helped our workforce? 2 major programs brought targeted relief, including unemployment insurance and Medicaid expansion. When the pandemic hit, Oklahoma saw more unemployment claims in March 2020 than it did in 2009 at the Great Recession's peak. While some fraudulent unemployment claims were made, including some to us, those claims were investigated and determined ineligible for payment. The state's unemployment insurance did what it was created to do in that unprecedented time: assist Oklahomans in their time of need. And in the summer of 2020, Oklahomans passed Medicaid expansion through a ballot initiative. It's been an unequivocal success. In January, 358,155 working-age adults were enrolled in Medicaid expansion. Because of Medicaid expansion, Oklahomans exiting incarceration will get insurance before returning to their communities. Tribal health systems are more solvent, and record levels of children are insured. I know if we prioritize our communal why, improving the lives of all Oklahomans, we can find compromise across political divides. Thank you for the time to be here, and I look forward to your questions.